Alright, hi everyone. I'm a little tired. But anyway, um, welcome to my little special effect tutorial. I can kind of, give me a second. Okay, that's better. Had to turn down my volume a little bit. I could hear myself talking. So basically what I'm going to do in this tutorial, I'm going to take this video and ignore any sound on it. Very thought that was gone. Yeah. Anyway, basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that video and at this portion of it, also sorry for the quality, but at this portion of it, I'm going to put a force field in, which is actually a lot easier than I expected the first time around. I did have to do it already. I have done it. And now I know it's a lot easier. So the first thing you want to do is you want to come over here where I just right clicked. And on a Mac that's like double clicking with your fingers or doing command click or control click. But you want to go to new after you do that and hit solid, and that makes a new layer. Right now I already have it on dark gray. You can make it any color you want. I'm personally going to keep it dark. But you just hit OK after you do that. And then what you want to do, and I don't know why it says 3 there, but okay, is go ahead and make a second layer on top of that. I don't know what's going on with that. And you want to make it a little lighter than the other layer. So about that should do. Not too much lighter. And then you, also apologies, there's a skip in here, and it is because of some technical difficulties I had with my recording software, so I apologize for that. But once you have this layer in here, really what you do is you go up here, and I already have the ellipse tool selected because I've been playing around with this. Usually it's on that, and you have to take it and hold down and then go down to the ellipse tool. But once you have that, essentially you just take it and you make your own ellipse right in here, however big you want it. And that forms a mask on the layer down here, as you can see. And if you try to move it around with the ellipse tool in that state, it will not work. So you have to go back and click on that so that you can move it and adjust it. And what you really want to do is come down here and turn off view, which is this little eye down here. And that way you can adjust it to your liking. For the sake of the position of this, whoa, did not mean to do that. Just trying to move it. For the sake of the position of this, I'm going to move it here, and then as you saw here, I kind of moved it inward and outward. That's these little dots here. You can adjust it however you like. I'm going to do something along the lines of this to try and make it look a little bit more like it came from me and not just like it's, woo. Yeah, there we go. Not just like it's a circle sitting there. But I am going to adjust the size a little bit from that because that is quite the size. I think right about there should be good. And once you know where you want it and everything, you just turn the layers back on. Okay, so once you have your little weirdly shaped ellipse like mine is, yeah, I don't know how to get rid of that little thing down there that happened, but once you have that in there, essentially what you do is you go over here and you to effects and presets, and you go and you search roughen edges. And you add that in, and it basically allows you to do things like this. Gives it a bit more of a force field feel with the squiggly edges, as it says. And you can mess around with the border, which is what I was just doing with this. Woo! There's things you can do with the evolution and the scale and stuff, I personally don't feel like messing with it too much. I think that's pretty much good right there. And up here, of course, you have all of these different options, but for just this purpose of this video, you only need this. You can mess with the border, mess with the scale, however much you want, and the complexity, but that makes a good enough force field there. And as you can see, it already looks kind of interesting. If I take this off, it's dark gray right now still, but you get the idea. Alright, so once you have your little roughened edges and everything sorted out, what you want to do is you want to come down here to your gray solid. It's supposed to be number 2. I don't know why it says 4, but you want to come down here, and on the Mac you want to hit Command D. And then you want to go ahead and go up here, and actually you want to remove the effects. Once you have that done, you go all the way up to the top, and there's like, layer, composition, all that. You go to layer. Once you have a layer selected, you go to layer and you go to solid settings. It's right underneath new. And you want to change the color to a lighter color. I'm going to go with white because that's what I learned to do. But basically, I think you can choose just about any color. But yeah, I went with white. You change it to white, then it's now no longer that gray color that's seen down here. And then you want to open it with this little arrow down here, go to mask, go down, and then you want to mess with the feather. And as you can see, what the feather is it kind of adds this like weird glowy effect. It can go out really far or be in really close or just not be there at all. I'm going to put it about here, and then you also want to mess with the expansion just a little bit. Make sure that it's like around where you want it. I'm going to put it right about there, so that way you can still see some of the roughened edges, but you still get the nice glowy effect, and it kind of makes it look a lot like a force field. So once you have that done, you just want to take it, and you want to go up to layer again. Wow, it's not letting me do what it's supposed to let me do. Okay. Guess, you want to duplicate it, and then you want to take the layer below and do a track matte on it. This one I'm going to do a Luma matte. It kind of makes it there. And then I'm going to duplicate this one and add an alpha matte to it. Boom. Actually, I'm going to take the Luma matte off here. So I don't quite like how that looks. So yeah, there we go. For some reason, I don't know why, but the top one, like, you can't ever add a matte to it. I'm not entirely sure why. You just can't. I've been struggling with that this whole time. But now that you've got that, you don't really need this layer here anymore. Well, that turned it back to normal. Undo. Wait, did it? Yeah, it did. Okay. Yes, you just need that there. But basically you take these, and what you want to do is you want to select all of them, not move them, select them, all of these, and you want to hit Command-Shift-C on the Mac, and it precomposes it, brings them all together, and that basically becomes your kind of map. So I'm going to take it, and when you open it, that's what you see. So you can't get back in there and mess with stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and rename it, and I'm going to name it just map, so that, or no, I'm going to name it shield map. Because that's what we're technically making, is a shield. It's just a light shield, basically. So once you have that, once you have that, then what you want to do is, I actually went back and looked at it real quick, and I messed up a little bit. One second. My thing is being weird. Sorry for all the noise. But yeah, I messed up a little bit, so I'm just going ahead and hit Command Z. Ignore the... I was messing around with it for a second, just to make sure. To undo the composition. So what you actually want to do in this case is take these here. You want to leave this one out, and you pre-compose those first. So once those are together, which I'm going to call this one shield map again. Whoops. Yeah, sorry. Still getting used to the controls. But, go ahead, name that shield map again. Because that's what that really is. And then you get rid of this. And with this gone, you can take the stuff in the shield map, which I just accidentally opened, and you can kind of move it around. So you can decide where you want your shield, if it's big enough, yada yada. I'm actually gonna... But essentially you get the point. You can mess with it. Move it to where you want it to be. I'm gonna go ahead and open that and up the scale just a little bit. That's a bit better. Yeah, so as you can see, you do that, and once you have it in the position you want, you go ahead and you take it, you put them together, and you whoop whoop whoop. So once you have those two, that there, and you have it exactly where you want it, I'm adjust it a little more. You take these two, and you pre-compose them together. Now, I'm gonna name it field map, because that's what it's gonna turn into. And once again, you can open it by, going over, or it's just gonna be difficult with me and not open. But once you have that in there, you can go over and you can actually make it invisible. And you come over here, you go to new once again via right click, or you can go up to the layer option, which is up here above where you guys can't see at the moment because of my recording software, and I apologize for that. And hit layer and go down and choose the new layer, but new is just a quicker way to do it. And you hit the adjustment layer option. Now with that adjustment layer, you're basically going to add in a few new things. So you go back to effects and presets, and you want to go to CC glass, which I already had typed in. Not glass wipe, okay? Not glass wipe. You're going to CC glass. You're taking it and you're moving it to the adjustment layer. And as you can see, that makes everything kind of go all wonky. Like, is that even a head there? Kind of wonky. But that's okay. Don't panic when that does that. That's supposed to happen. You just go over to surface and bump map, and you select the field map as your bump map. And then you can go over here and change things about it. I'm not really exactly sure what that does. You can mess with the softness so it goes out like that, or goes super hard like that. I'm going to try and find a nice medium to where it doesn't completely cut off my hand, but still looks pretty kind of cool. I'm going to change the height a bit to about that. I'd say is a pretty good thing. Mess with the displacement slightly. And yeah, I think that's a good enough distortion for our force field. I'm gonna go ahead and turn force field back on just to look at it. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Now that you have that in there, because you have to think the force field's going to distort things. What you can do is, of course, you can do light and shading and all that. Doing stuff like this, which messes with the whole thing. I'd personally just leave it alone. But you can do what you like. But what you want to do is you want to, oh, sorry about that. So yeah, once you have this, what you want to do is you want to go over to field map and you want to duplicate it. Just like you did before, Command D on the Mac. And you just want to bring it up above that adjustment layer and go ahead and make that one visible so you can see it here, as you can tell. And then you want to go back over to effects and presets. Quite a couple of times you do that. And you want to look for find edges, which is right here. Should pop up fairly easily. Add it in. As you can already tell, that kind of messes with the thing, which is actually kind of cool. If you invert it, it looks even cooler, as you can tell. And then the tutorial that I actually watched to show me how to make a force field recommended this plugin called Color Vibrant, and I have to say I actually really like it. Give me a second to find it. There it is, Vibrance, right here. It's by Copilot, Video Copilot. It's actually kind of cool, so if you don't have that, you don't have to use it, but I would recommend it. So you can add that in there, and as you can see, it changes the color of the deal, and you can make it whatever you want. So you made blue, green. I actually made mine yellow last time. This time I think I'm gonna go with like a kind of, ooh, that color. I like that color. So yeah, you mess around with it. You mess around with, how vibrant it is or how low you want it. If you don't want it super big, you just do that. You can preserve it, you can keep it, you can brighten it up. I'm going to brighten mine up a little bit, and I apologize for the slight glitch there. If you invert it there, you can also do that. I'm going to leave invert off. Actually, I kind of like that. What else? What else is there? As you can see, we kind of already have the little force field going. I'm going to go back into CEC glass and mess around with it a little bit, because that seems like a little strange. Displacement. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. Maybe a little more on the softness. So as you can see, we kind of already have enough of a force field to be there. I personally still kind of want to mess with it. I feel like I could get a little more done here. I think I'm gonna go in here, kind of mess with the shield map a bit. I believe that's over here. Yeah. I'm gonna mess with the feather a little bit, but essentially you're practically already have your shield, so woo. Yeah, I can make it a little lighter there. Blend it a little bit more out. Yeah. I'm actually gonna make that a luma and then mess with it, because it kind of gives it a little bit more of a look, and I kind of like that. So yeah, with that, that's what that looks like. Now, as you can see, we basically have a force field here, but it still looks really solid. It's something that I kind of just noticed, and I wondered why, and then I realized that I left this turned on in here, so you turn that off. As you can see, it goes like really light, and you come back in here, and you have your see-through distortion force field that has been put up, blocking whatever is coming your way. And that's basically it. You've got your force field. Really all you need to do now is put it in the spot where you need it. So like right now, if I were to hit play, all the background noise, that's annoying. I wish that wasn't in here. So right here where I have the ticker, but as you saw, it's throughout the entire video. Obviously that shield's not going to be there the whole time, otherwise I would have run into it instead of putting it up. So you really just take the things and you just move them down here, and the force field will show up there. You just have to make sure. There are add-ons, there are lots of cool things you can do to it. And I'm actually going to link to the tutorial that I watched to learn this so that you guys can learn a few extra things you can do. But really, if you just want a simple force field to pop up and to go away, this is it. Ta-da! So yeah, that's how you make a force field, guys. I really hope you enjoyed, and see y'all next time. Later, Gator.